Hey, what's going on? And welcome to my channel. My name is Albert, and if you're new here, this channel is just me documenting my progress, trying to make some money selling Tesla puts. And yeah, man, not a great month in May. I lost $10,000, $10,057 to be exact. I made a video previously on how I lost that money, so you can check that out. But yeah, not exactly a great month for me. I really wanted my 50th video. This is my 49th. I really wanted my 50th video to be something along the lines of like, hey, I made 50 videos and I made $50,000. But obviously that's not the case because I actually was up $50,000 as of April, but I lost 10,000. So obviously that's not the case anymore. Pretty sad about that. But I did a deep dive on like all my feelings and everything, so you can check that video out. In this video, I want to talk more about like what's going on in the market and oh yeah, so real quick, here are my puts I have. Nothing really new. I had to roll a put out. So basically what rolling is, you buy a put and you sell a put before it expires. The amount of money that it costs typically can cost about the same that you're buying for, so you just get more time to be wrong. So I had a 900 put for May. That was definitely negative, and I rolled it to 890 for July, and we'll just see how that goes, and we'll keep rolling them. Okay, so the video I want to make today is more about the broader market. I think if you're investing in Tesla, the last month or two has been really crazy, and there's been a lot of noise, right? People are talking about all this stuff, especially with the Twitter stuff going on, with China factory shutting down, and recently there's been a lot of tweets about layoffs and stuff. I think the stock price dropped like 10% last Friday. So yeah, there's a lot of FUD or potential for FUD, and if you're a Tesla investor, I think there's only if I really were to really dumb this down, if I want to explain to like my friend on why Tesla is a good investment, I think there's only two numbers to pay attention to. Okay, and in my mind, these are the two numbers to focus on. Number one is, can Tesla continue to grow at 50% year over year in production, right? And number two is, can Tesla keep the same margins? And if Tesla's not able to do this, then I think then we have some issues, right? One is if they're not able to grow 50% year over year, then the multiple they're getting, doesn't make sense, right? And for the margins, like if they're not able to keep their margins, then obviously one of the best things about Tesla, they're super profitable, right? So I think they're continue to increase margins, but can we just keep them the same in scale? Like that would be good enough for me, I think. But there's a lot of fun about like, oh, full self-driving this, and Tesla bought that, whatever. It's like, hey, if they're able to continue to go 50% with just selling cars and keep the same margins, then they're definitely gonna be worth multi-trillion-dollar company. Okay, and then so those are the two numbers I think you really have to focus on. Everything else is like a bonus, right? If they figure out full self-driving and they're able to do a robotaxi, that's going to be some huge multiplier, right? But if you don't even price that in, then they can still be worth a multi-trillion-dollar company just at the current business of selling cars. And then you have energy, they have insurance, you have all this other stuff, right? So let's just focus on the car selling for now. And this is how you can know if you believe this, then you can hold on to your shares. Okay, so are they going to continue to grow production at 50%? And the way I look at this is, I think obviously yes. Well, one thing you have to think about is like, hey, why are we talking about production and not about sales? It's because they already have so much demand. Tesla doesn't have a demand issue. Okay, so when you start talking about competition and all these new cars are coming with all these different SKUs and all this stuff, like, dude, that doesn't really affect Tesla, right? Because they already sell every single car that they produce like a year in advance, right? They're raising prices and they're still selling all their cars. So it's more of a production. It's like how fast can they produce cars? And yeah, they just built out 2 new factories, and those are gonna start building. Those can produce probably 500,000 cars a year plus. They're increasing their Shanghai production. The only really real effect on Tesla in the short term is they were shut down for like a month in Shanghai, which is a huge deal. But that's not a long-term effect, right? Once COVID is over and once it's back up and running, it's already back up and running. Like that's not gonna affect it in the future. So I can definitely see a stock taking a hit for Q2. I don't know how much of that's priced in, but yeah, that's kind of what I think about. Like, is Tesla going to continue to grow 50%? I definitely think so. And then the margins, they're continuing to cut down on margins, so they're going to definitely cut down on cost. And as they scale, it's going to get cheaper. So, answer for me is yes. Like you have to decide that on your own as well. But this is how I think you should think about it if you're worried about Tesla stock not being super high in the future. And then this last, if I would be super honest, like I missed the video last week is just because I've been like super stressed out about the whole market and what's going on, and like obviously I have a lot of puts out which are aren't going great. So a few things I've learned, and I've learned I think I learned a bunch of other specific things I'll go on over another video. Is well the one thing I learned about myself is like, hey, this is too much mental capacity for me, and it's like stressing me out. So I think I'm gonna slow down really a lot on it, just because I can just hold the shares and be happy. I should just hold the shares and be happy, but obviously during bull market, I was starting to get greedy. I want to do all these other trades, and now we're kind of losing. Now everything's going down. I'm reorienting myself. It's like, dude, I'm taking on all this risk that probably shouldn't happen. And then the only other thing that I feel like I've been really, really poor at in terms of trading is like when things start swinging one way or the other, I just keep thinking that it's going to continue that way, and that's like freaked me out so many times. So those are my two things. I'll cover that in a more specific things I learned in probably the next video. But yeah, hope that's helpful, and hold on to your Tesla.